Let's tell the truth about sundown towns, not just what they are, but how they work, how the government helps them, and how entire generations of Black families have learned to survive them. Because this wasn't just local hate, it was policy. And it was everywhere. Sundown towns were places where Black people were told in no uncertain terms, don't be here after dark. Signs at the city limits would warn you, don't let the sun set on you in this town. And it wasn't just a threat, it was enforced. Police would arrest you, neighbors would form mobs. People were run out of town, beaten, and even lynched. And this wasn't just limited to Mississippi or Alabama. We're talking Illinois, Indiana, California, Oregon. Hundreds, likely thousands of these towns all across America. Places that made being Black after sunset a crime in itself. But here's what they don't teach you. This wasn't just angry white neighbors putting up signs. It wasn't just local mobs. The federal government helped to build and maintain these all-white spaces. During the 1930s and 40s, the Homeowners Loan Corporation, they made maps that graded neighborhoods. If Black people lived there, they colored it red, called it hazardous, no loans, no investments. That's redlining. And it locked people in, made sure that Black families couldn't buy homes or build wealth. But they didn't stop there, of course. The Federal Housing Administration required racial covenants in new suburban developments. They demanded that the developers guarantee that those homes would only be sold to white buyers if they wanted those cheap, federally insured loans. It wasn't a suggestion, it was policy. Taxpayer money literally underwriting segregation. White families got the homes, the loans, the equity. Black families got shut out. And if they tried to move in, they risked violence. Because sundown towns didn't just say, don't live here. They said, don't even pass through. And this is where the Green Book comes in. Black travelers needed an entire guide just to stay alive on the road. Victor Green started publishing it in the 1930s because he knew the danger. He listed places where Black people could safely eat, sleep, and buy gas. Places that wouldn't turn them away or call the cops. Or worse, because entire counties could be sundown. A Black family driving across country couldn't assume that they'd be safe anywhere after dark. They planned routes around hate. They planned around survival. That wasn't ancient history. Our parents and grandparents lived that. So don't let anyone ever tell you that segregation was a Southern thing, or that it was just mean neighbors putting up signs. It was written into federal policy, enforced by police. It was mapped by the government and funded by our tax dollars. And when Black families found ways to survive it, they had to publish a whole book just to make it through the country safely. That's the truth. That's the history they try to sanitize. But it's ours to tell. Because if we don't say it out loud, they'll just keep pretending that it never happened. And we're not here to let them forget.